Hi, this is a series of videos called Sentence Surgery, in which I'm going to be taking a really badly written sentence and whip it into shape. So to make sure you don't miss any of the series, do subscribe to the channel. Oh, and by the way, this content is adapted from my flagship online writing course, Writing with Confidence, and you can enrol at a massive discount in the link below. So this is quite a long and complicated sentence. As you can see, it's 33 words long, which breaks my usual rule of thumb guidance that you should try and keep all sentences in any piece of business writing under 24 words. And it goes like this. While these figures provide additional information, it's worth emphasising that they cannot be used for computing projected profitability, since the granularity of the information requested does not allow to do so. And you'll notice that I had to take a breath in the middle of that sentence, which is again another sign that it's a little bit too long. So how do we find a way into a sentence like this? Well, the first thing I would do is to break it down into the ideas or points that it includes. This sentence includes quite a lot of information, so I'm going to break it down and see if we can separate out the various bits of information in this sentence. So let's start. So the first point that it makes is that the figures provide additional information. So let's just bring that point out. The next point that comes into the sentence is that it's worth emphasising something. So it's worth emphasising that they cannot be used for computing projected profitability. So that's our second point. And then our third point is that the granularity of the information does not allow to do so. So we have 3 points here, and that's given us a bit of space to think, a bit of a way into the sentence. So the next thing to think about is how do we stitch those ideas back up together in a way that makes it easier to read. So the first thing to note with this point 1 is that it starts with this word while. Now, while is one of those tricky words that you should look out for, and if you can, try not to start sentences with while. And its archaic, fancier version, whilst. When you start a sentence with while, that generally is a sign that you're starting with subsidiary information. You're not leading with the main point of the sentence. So what I would do here is simply start with these figures provide additional information. So I would actually make that a single sentence. And then what I would do is I would join the next 2 sentences, I would actually join back into one sentence. So let's see how we do that. So let's look at the second point, this point beginning, it's worth emphasising. Now, I feel that this phrase, it's worth emphasising, is unnecessary. It's an example of what I'd call meta-language, or bringing your reader's attention to the act of writing. You're emphasising it by saying it here, so no need to tell us that it's worth emphasising. It just seems a little unnecessary, a little redundant. So what I would do is I would maybe start with a joining word. However, they cannot be used for computing projected profitability. Computing projected profitability. Now, to me, this seems like a very long-winded, fancy way of saying predicting profitability. So I would probably say to predict profitability. Let's look also at this word granularity. Now, this is one of those corporate jargony words. I'm just wondering if this is a word that your mum would happily use, or whether it's a word you would use at the weekend or round the dinner table outside of the workplace. I suspect that's not the case. I think what it means is detail. The detail of the information requested does not allow to do so. That's getting there. I think we can maybe make this whole second sentence just a little bit punchier. And what I would say is I would actually lead with the question of the detail. So I would say, however, they do not provide enough detail to predict profitability. Full stop. So what we have here is two sentences where we had one. The first sentence has 5 words. The second sentence has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words. So we've halved the number of words altogether in total. We've also put in a couple of full stops there, which just makes it easier on the reader's brain. Those full stops are like little resting points that allow the reader to digest a particular point before you move on to the next one, rather than cramming all those points into the same sentence. So these figures provide additional information, however, they do not provide enough detail to predict profitability. It says exactly the same thing, just in fewer words and much clearer. So I hope you found that interesting and useful. For even more hints and tips for crafting stronger sentences, do check out my online writing course, Writing with Confidence. There's also loads of other stuff there about making your writing stronger and more compelling. You can enroll today using the discount code below.